good morning everybody. Thank you for coming to join me. I just wanted to share with you my first design team project for Rachel from Roxy Creations. The kit that I've used from Rachel is her nature kit, and I've also put in some Mrs Cogs images from, I had to write them down, from the alpine bookmarks, squirrels, forest creatures and owls. So I'll list them all below. The book that I've used, I think, dates from around the 1960s. I've actually got a second copy of it. This is a later copy from about 1980, and it's Illustrated Book of Wildlife Flowers. The book, this one's got like a painted flower on it, whereas the one that I used is kind of impressed. Impressed, is that the right word? Embossed, with, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of gold flowers. So this book is from, it was first published in the 60s, so this is around the 60s, 1960s. So it is showing some wear. There is a little bit of wear, can you see there on the corners? And there are some marks on it, and also on the back, if you can quite see that. But it's generally in good condition. And I've actually, this is the first time that I've done a, gosh, can't think what you call it now. Floating spine? No, it's not what you call it. It's a curved spine, hollow back, that's the word, hollow back spine. So hopefully you can see in amongst all the threads, that is a hollow back spine. So I've watched quite a few different tutorials and different people doing things on that. So thank you for those of you that have shared. This is a big book. It's a large book cover. It measures, it's about 7 inches wide and about 9, just over 9 inches tall. Let me just double check that. Sorry, 9.5, just over 9.5 by at least 7. So it is quite big, and it is quite heavy. I think it weighs over 900 grams, so it is quite a chunky one. The closure that I've used is just some ribbon, and I've put a couple of ribbon crimps on there just to hold them together, and then there's a chain with a lobster claw on there, and that's got a dangle on it, so you can expand it, or it does just, if I'm not holding the chain, it does just slip off. So there's 3 signatures in here, but the middle signature is actually kind of a file folder, extra journaling space. So we'll see that as we go through. So I'm just hoping that this will all fit in frame, because as I say, it is quite large. So in the front here, I've done a pocket with some Edith Holden, and one of the poems there from Edith Holden. And then the images, as I say, the papers are from Roxy, and then the images are from Mrs Cog, from Mrs Cogs Crafts. So just a pocket there, and then in the back there's another poem there from an Edith Holden. Slip that in there, and then this is the first page of the kit from Rachel. As I say, it's her nature kit, and I've added a definition there of nature. A tuck spot up there. And then these papers are Rachel's collage sheets. So I've just cut some of those and used them. This is one of the pages from the book, and that's an envelope there with a little snip on there. And then in the back, there's a journaling card. And then I just put some Edith Holden from the index page there. That's just a circle die cut with tissue paper on it and a butterfly. Large journaling page. And I think this eco paper is Artymaze's. There's a tuck spot just there on the book page. Some little pheasants there. Pheasants? Not partridges, no, pheasants. And then on the back, yellow poppy. And then another of Rachel's pages there with a fabric snip on it. And this is Rachel's tea dyed, one of her coffee dyed sets as well. And then Little tuck spot there, and that says thunderstorm and the definition of thunderstorm on there. And then this is tells you about the butterflies that are on that page. Another of Rachel's pages there. And a little file folder with a couple of bookmarks in there. And a definition of blossom. And then there's some ruffle trim just there. Little snip there with mushrooms on, toadstools. Another of Rachel's pages here, and I've just attached a vintage doily. You could actually use that as a tuck spot, or you could glue it down if you'd rather. Just a little fabric flip. And then this is, I had a little piece of straw paper. I love that straw paper. I had a little piece that was sent me with a parcel wrapped in it, and that was the only bit that I've been able to use. So I've just embroidered some lines on there so that you can write on it. And there's a double tuck spot just there. Okay, that's just a cut out butterfly, but these are, again, Rachel's papers. And one of her tags from a tag kit. And then these are from Mrs Cogs, but alpine flower bookmarks, I think it is. And I've just made a little tuck spot there. Book page here, again one of Rachel's papers. And then in the middle I've just done an Edith Holden envelope there and a little fabric snip on it. The book page. Then this is just some extra journaling paper in there that I've put in. I don't know where that owl picture was from, but this is one of Rachel's trims. So I've just used that as a crosswise belly band, so that'll just fit in there. Another book page there with another snip on it. And then the card there says forest and a definition of forest. And then I've put some leaves on there and definition of leaf. And again, that's one of Rachel's papers. Snip there. These papers are just adorable. I really like them. And you could actually write on that or put something on here if you wanted to. This is a flip out, so I'll move the book slightly. So there's a flip out of an Edith Holden page there with a little card in. And another mushroom snip just there. That flips out. And then on the back, hopefully you're still in frame there. On the back there's one of an image of the bear from Mrs Cogs. I think that might be the forest creature one. And just under some lace there. Another just a blank page there that says seed. And then again the back of Rachel's papers. Small butterflies. And then on the back of that I've put some more writing paper. So these are embroidered lines on this paper. Again, Rachel's coffee dyed papers. I love the background that she's used on this. And it looks to me that little squirrel is watching these butterflies. So that just flips out with some extra space on there and some mushrooms down the bottom there. And then there's a tuck spot, that's an Edith Holden page that I've made as a double tuck spot just there. And a couple of owls there from Mrs Cogs' owl set. Some more ruffle. That's not a tuck spot, that's just sewn on as, stitched on, glued on even, just as a bit of interest. And then the back page. This, I'd love to have seen the original of this embroidery. It's got like a sheen to it. It must have been shiny originally, the actual embroidery. The middle signature, as I say, is a kind of a kind of file folder. So this is one of Rachel's embroidery images. So that's one page that I've cut in half and used as a pocket. And then this is one of her collage pages that I had left over. Then on the inside there's a tuck spot there, and I've put with one of Mrs Cogs' owls on it, and then Rachel's background papers, and then again that's just some extra journaling space there. Again, Rachel's coffee papers, and that tucks in there. And then here there's a pocket, and this again is one of Rachel's collage papers that I've cut up there. And then one of the images from Mrs Cogs. I think that's the small wildlife, small and furry creatures. There's little rabbits or hares. I think the hares. And then the middle of this file folder is just some extra journaling space. So there's a variety of papers in there. Sorry if anyone can hear a noise. My husband's just getting his Jeep out. It's quite noisy. So I apologise if you can hear it. Then the back page of the file folder has got a flip. So there's a card in there. And then again, this is one of Rachel's trims. And then that, pull it over, that flips open. So there's 3 pockets here. So again, I've used Rachel's papers on there. I love that image of those owls. I don't know what they're discussing, but they do look very serious. That one in there, the little, it's not a squirrel, maybe it is a squirrel. And then the hare, it looks like he's changing for his winter coat from brown to white on that. And then on this side, there's a couple of pockets as well. Because I did make this from my one and only file folder. So this is the edge of the file folder that I had left over. So I've just collaged those and made them into pockets. And I've put a couple of information about yellow-toed flax there, look. So there are some threads still on these that actually, you know, you can cut them off if you don't like them, but I quite liked the extras. So that folds in, and then on the back page, yep, on the back page there's a corner tuck and a couple of pieces from Edith Holden there. And again, this is one of Rachel's embroidery pages. And then the last signature, again, you can put a picture on here, or you can write on it, or you can put a title in there. Corner tuck again there. And then this is just a little extra journaling space, and this is a book page from Observer Book of Flowers. Stinking hellebore. You can always cover that up if you don't like it. And then there's just some extra bits of paper that I had left over. And again, one of the images there of burr clover from Mrs Cogs. This is an envelope, window envelope, so there's a tuck spot just down here that you can put something in, and then it pulls out there. I'll find a card to go in there actually. So some journaling space there. It goes into there, that envelope, and then there's also a tuck spot at the back of it. I'll find an extra card to go in that space there. There we go. Another mushroom snip just there. Another book page, and I've put a little pocket. Again, this is the original page from the book. I've actually used all those pages up now. And there's another image there of a squirrel. And then on that, I've just sewn round a piece of tea stain paper and put it on as some writing space. Again, one of Rachel's pages. Aren't they lovely? And another snip there. More butterflies. Again, Rachel's coffee dyed, tea dyed papers. Tuck spot there. Again, that's telling you about the butterflies. And there's just an envelope there, again made out of the book page. And that says bird. I put that bird one there because I thought it matched the birds on there. Another of the little file folders and a definition of fern. So it really is a bit of an eclectic mix of nature, this one. It's got flowers, animals, birds, you name it, it's in it. I've really enjoyed making this one. Sorry, there's little bits of cloth everywhere. Another tuck spot there. That's a little piece of Tim Holtz butterfly fabric there. And another tuck spot. Little card there. Another vintage doily. I think I'm all out of those now. I find them really hard to find here in the UK. But that was gifted to me from a friend. Snippet belly band there with some bits of fabric that I had left over. And again, one of the little envelopes made out of one of the book pages. And then that just closes and tucks in there. Another book page there. another of the pieces of that straw paper. I really must find, see if I can find somebody that sells the straw paper locally. There's another tuck spot there. That's a window envelope, so there is a tuck spot just there, but I didn't want to cover up the mushrooms. That's one of the images from Mrs Cogs. I think it's a mushroom kit, but there's a little card there. See, I said it was an eclectic mix of nature, little mushroom houses. It goes in there. So you can use that pocket if you want to. And then there's another card there, and there's a description there of botanical and another of the little leaves on that one. And then another of the butterflies, and that's just decoupaged on there. And then I don't know what the squirrel and rabbit are saying, but they look deep in conversation as well. And there's another squirrel in the background, and that just tucks up there. That's just a little piece of fabric there. Centre of the signature coming up. So this is book page, and again the Tim Holtz fabric. This is just beautiful, and again I'd have loved to have seen the original embroidery of that. Another in the middle here in the centre, there's another of the Edith Holden pockets. Little snip on it. Isn't that lovely? So there's lots of space to write in this one if you want to. Again, another fabric flip here with some more papers in. Just some extra journaling space there. And that just fits over there. And again, this is one of Rachel's trim sets. That's the last piece of vintage crochet that I had. It was a worn out table mat that had little crocheted pansies on, so they are all fraying, but I liked it. It's gone now. A tuck spot there that says landscape, and there's a large card there with the rabbits in. Another snip on there. Again, another flip out with a, can you see that? Hopefully it stays in frame. Little tuck spot there. Edith Holden quote in there. And again, this is one of Rachel's embroidery from her embroidery set, and I've just put a little mushroom on there and some more journaling space. And then I folded it over for a little tuck spot, so there is a tuck spot just here. There's one just there, and again the little squirrel. So I'll see if I can find something to go in there. I'm not sure if I've got a small card left. I'll see what I can find. Another page there. Beautiful rose. Back of the butterfly paper. And again, the stitched, so that is slightly raised, so the stitched paper on there. Another little snip just there. This, I just love those, the little blue tits. Tuck spot there, well, these are Rachel's doilies. Little tuck spot just there. And again, just there. Another, that's not a tuck spot, it's just glued in. And then the little bird on the back. The back of the book I've left plain because it was getting quite chunky and I didn't want to overdo it. But I thought it'd be nice for whoever wants this, they can put something of their own in there. So this is my, as I say, my design team project for Rachel, Roxy Creations. I do hope you'll go and have a look at her kit. It's been an absolute delight to work with. And Rachel, thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you do like my journal, and thank you so much for coming to watch. Take care. Bye bye.